When you hear the words Formula One, what comes to mind? Blazing speed, screaming engines, cutting-edge technology, and the roar of fans around the world. Formula One is more than just a race. It's a high-stakes, high-tech spectacle. But how did this global phenomenon begin? The story of Formula One starts in Europe in the first half of the 20th century. In those early days, racing was more chaotic than coordinated. Manufacturers and wealthy car owners would take their machines to open roads or makeshift circuits, testing limits with minimal rules. Events like the Grand Prix in France and Italy gained popularity, but there was no standardized championship, just individual races. That all changed in 1950 when the Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile, FIA, the governing body of motorsport, created an official championship to unite these Grand Prix events under one set of rules. They called it the Formula One World Championship, with formula referring to the strict technical regulations teams had to follow. The first ever official Formula One race took place on May 13, 1950, at Silverstone in the United Kingdom. 7 races made up that inaugural season, and the first champion was Giuseppe Farina, driving for Alfa Romeo. But it wasn't long before a new legend emerged, Juan Manuel Fangio, who won 5 world titles in the 1950s and helped establish the sport's prestige. In those early years, Formula One was dangerous, romantic, and raw. Cars were fast but fragile, safety was minimal, and races often tested the bravery of drivers as much as their skill. It was a time of heroes, rivalries, and technical breakthroughs, and fans couldn't get enough. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, the sport evolved quickly. More manufacturers entered the scene: Ferrari, Lotus, McLaren, and later Williams. Each team brought new ideas from aerodynamics to lightweight materials, pushing the limits of engineering. Meanwhile, drivers like Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, and Niki Lauda became household names, captivating fans not just with wins, but with grit and charisma. Off the track, the business side of F1 also began to take shape. One of the most influential figures in this transformation was Bernie Ecclestone. Originally a team owner, Ecclestone saw the potential to turn Formula One into a commercial empire. He centralized TV rights, negotiated with circuits, and built F1 into a global brand, not just a European sport. By the 1980s and 90s, Formula One was booming. Legendary rivalries like Ayrton Senna versus Alain Prost, and later Michael Schumacher's dominance with Ferrari, drew millions of fans and helped F1 expand into new markets. Races were now held in Japan, Australia, Brazil, and eventually the Middle East and Asia. The technology became even more advanced. Turbocharged engines, carbon fiber chassis, and cutting-edge telemetry turned F1 into the pinnacle of automotive innovation. In the 2000s, Formula One embraced its role as both a sport and a global entertainment product. Major sponsors, luxury brands, and even Hollywood got involved. F1 wasn't just for gearheads anymore. It was a lifestyle, a fashion, a symbol of ambition. The 2010s brought more changes. The rise of hybrid engines, stricter environmental regulations, and new generations of drivers like Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, and Max Verstappen. Hamilton, in particular, has become a global icon, not just for his driving skills, but for his voice on social issues, diversity, and sustainability. Then, in 2017, Liberty Media bought the commercial rights to F1 and introduced a fresh wave of modernization. Social media, fan engagement, and the now famous Netflix series Drive to Survive brought millions of new fans into the sport. Suddenly, F1 wasn't just a motorsport, it was mainstream culture. Today, Formula One is more popular than ever. With races held on nearly every continent, billion-dollar teams, and cutting-edge hybrid cars, the sport has become a blend of tradition and future. It's a competition where engineering, human skill, and strategy collide at speeds over 300 kilometers per hour. But at its core, Formula One remains what it always was: a thrilling test of who can be the fastest, not just on the track, but in the lab, the garage, and even the mind. From the dusty circuits of 1950 to the bright lights of Monaco, Singapore, and Las Vegas, F1 has always been about pushing limits, And if the past 70-plus years are any indication, Formula One is just getting started. Thanks for watching. If you love the story of F1's creation, leave a like, subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments, which brand or sport should we cover next?